Eli Lilly CEO David Ricks and our own Meg Terrell. Meg?
John, thanks so much. Dave, thanks for being with us. It's a really big day. And, I want to start by asking you about the reaction you've received to this news. The president even tweeting his support for Lilly lowering the price of these drugs. And we've heard from patients who are excited about this. The stock actually rose. Normally, you wouldn't think the stock would rise on a company slashing the prices of its drugs. But are investors supportive of this in their conversations with you?
Well, thanks, Meg, for having me on. And it is a big day for patients who use Lilly insulin because no matter who you are or where you are, you should have at least the same or lower costs as of today. And that's important because we know insulin affordability has been a challenge. I haven't spent much time with investors today, but the ones I have spoken to, I don't think are too concerned about this, although, there is a headwind financially. We put that in our guidance this year. But mostly, I think they're focused on the new products that are driving the future growth of the company. Insulin is an important product for a company. We've been making it for 100 years, but it's not really a growth driver. And so I think that's the investor perspective for today. But we do serve 2.5 million patients, and they care about the news today.
Yeah, the president issuing a challenge to other manufacturers that they should follow suit and cut the prices of their insulins as well. I reached out to Novo Nordisk and Sanofi, and they both detailed the steps they've taken so far, which seem similar to ones that Lilly had also taken with patient assistance, introducing different versions of insulin at lower prices, but not actually talking about cutting the list prices. Are you challenging them to follow suit? And if they don't, how do you think that's going to affect your formulary placement and insurance coverage?
Well, they'll have to decide what they want to do. We are challenging the whole system. I made those comments earlier today, whether it be PBMs and insurance companies, employers who design their own benefits, pharmacies that can choose to carry low-priced options like our $25 generic of our own product. We challenge everyone to participate in solving the problem. And I think we all have heard enough about insulin affordability. Here in America, we should be able to solve this problem ourselves. And Lilly's taking these actions today to lead again on this issue. You may recall we launched the first biosimilar in the U.S. to Lantus called Basaglar 6 years ago. We launched the first authorized generic to our own product, and we were the first to buy down copays at the point of sale. This builds on all that. And sure, everyone could come along with us. That'd be better for patients with diabetes.
David, thanks for joining us on Overtime. It's John Fort.
Hey, John.
I want to ask about Mounjaro, your diabetes brand name that people are excited about potential approval for weight loss treatment. I believe in trials, people lost up to 22% of body weight on this. My question is on your pricing philosophy. There's an estimate out there that you'll be doing $5 billion in revenue on this alone in 2026. So to get there, do you have to have separate brands for diabetes and obesity with this drug? And for obesity, is this inevitably going to be expensive?
Yeah, thanks for the question. We're obviously really excited about Mounjaro for diabetes right now, which just launched last summer and really had an unbelievable initial uptake because it's just so effective, driving glucose control to almost normal levels and people losing quite a bit of weight with diabetes. We have studies ongoing and a review at the FDA now for the weight loss indication. We should get 3 more phase 3 studies by midsummer to really complete that package and hopefully be approved at the end of the year. We obviously don't talk about our pricing approaches before launch. Our competitor has 2 brands. Mostly that's because the access for weight loss medications and really obesity as a health condition is so different from diabetes. Generally, diabetes medications are broadly covered in insurance, and obesity medications are not. So the payers like that to differentiate between who's got what prescription. So that would speak in favor of 2 brands. On the other hand, 2 brands, it's more things to remember and so forth. So we'll work through all that between now and launch date, hopefully this fall.
Oh, that is really fascinating. Something I want to dig into at a later time.
Okay.
But Dave, I have to ask you about your Alzheimer's drug, too, because, of course, you've got big news coming in a phase 3 trial expected to read out in the second quarter. Can you tell us about your confidence level heading into that readout and also your reaction to the news that Billy Dunn, the chief regulator of neurology drugs at the FDA, is leaving? He's really been seen as a champion for flexibility, particularly in Alzheimer's. So your confidence in the phase 3 trial and then also your reaction to that news.
Yeah, thanks for that. And Billy was a champion for change and getting new treatments to patients. Some controversy obviously, but someone who thought we ought to be thinking of diseases like Alzheimer's like we do cancer, things that we could diagnose with clinical diagnostics objectively and approve drugs more rapidly. Of course, that's our philosophy too, so we'll have to see who takes his role. But I think that's really only germane to the accelerated approval question, because, as you may know, Meg, this is the phase 3 pivotal for donanemab, our Alzheimer's study. They'll read out in the spring, and we'll shortly after that, if it's very positive, which we hope to, have it very positive, just get a regular approval. So I think the regulatory risk is not so different with Billy's departure for our program. We've never been more confident in donanemab's success. Part of that builds on the fact that a competitor molecule was successful in the fall. That's good for the amyloid hypothesis, but we think we designed a great program. It's fully enrolled. We're waiting for the final data here in the next few weeks and months, and that'll be a big day for us when that data comes in. And from there, we hope to get to patients as soon as possible. You know, Alzheimer's has huge unmet need, and we're happy to be at the forefront of that one.